The Senate held a contentious hearing on the safety of kids online. The House voted to expand the child tax credit, and we have everything you need to know about a brand new dinosaur. That's some of what we'll get to on The 7 from The Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Thursday, February 1st. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. Number 1. Mark Zuckerberg apologized to the victims of online child abuse. Yesterday, the CEOs of Meta, TikTok, Snap, Discord, and X were grilled by lawmakers at an emotional Senate hearing into kids' safety online. In a heated exchange, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg was pressured by Republican Senator Josh Hawley to admit his company's wrongdoing. Zuckerberg then rose from his chair and turned to face the families in attendance at the hearing. Some had brought photos of their children who they say died because of causes related to social media. He told them, "I'm sorry for everything you have all been through." Hawley then continued to press Zuckerberg to compensate those families.
Your product is killing people. Will you personally commit to compensating the victims? You're a billionaire. Will you commit to compensating the victims? Will you set up a compensation fund
Senator,
with your money?
I think these are
with your money.
Senator, these are complicated
Yes, that's not a complicated question, though. That's Senator, a yes or no. Will you set up a victims compensation fund with your money, the money you made on these families sitting behind you? Yes or no?
Senator, I don't think that's my job is to
Sounds
make sure
like a no.
Good tools. My
Sounds
job
like a no.
Congress has held dozens of hearings with tech executives in recent years, and yesterday's contentious session came as it's trying to pass new protections for children online. Number 2. The House voted yesterday to expand the child tax credit. This bill would help more low-income families claim more money and adjust payments for inflation for the 2024 and 2025 tax years. It would also strengthen some corporate tax breaks. Lawmakers hope to pass it in time for the new benefit to take effect in the upcoming tax filing season. But that might not be straightforward. The bill now goes to the Senate, where it could struggle to pass. Some Senate Republicans have criticized the measure, saying it could help President Biden's re-election campaign. Number 3. A federal judge dismissed Disney's lawsuit against Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Disney and DeSantis have been locked in a feud for the past 2 years. Disney alleged that the Republican governor removed its special tax arrangements in Florida in retaliation. That was after its CEO opposed a law limiting LGBTQ discussions in schools in 2022, which critics call the Don't Say Gay law. Disney claimed that the governor had violated its free speech rights as a company. But the judge ruled that Disney lacked standing to sue the governor and said that the law it was suing over was constitutional. Yesterday's ruling was a legal and political victory for DeSantis, but Disney said it would press forward with its case, though it didn't say how. Number 4. Fani Willis was summoned to testify over allegations of misconduct. Willis is the Atlanta area prosecutor overseeing an election interference case against former President Donald Trump. She's been accused of having an improper relationship with the case's top prosecutor, Nathan Wade. Trump's allies claim the relationship financially benefited them both and argue that they should be disqualified from prosecuting the case. The subpoena could lead to court proceedings that may decide whether the Trump case goes ahead. A hearing is set for February 15th. Number 5. The FDA issued a warning over unapproved copycat eye drops. The agency warned consumers against using South Moon, Rebright, and 55Go eye drops. It said these brands are unapproved drugs that put users at risk of eye infection and that they shouldn't be sold in the U.S. The FDA also said these drops claim to treat eye conditions such as glaucoma, but glaucoma is treated with prescription drugs or surgery. The problem is that these brands are copycats of approved drops from Bausch & Lomb, so consumers could easily be mistaken. Some of them even say Bausch & Lomb on their labels. The FDA recommended people watch out for online retailers selling products with false claims. Instead, people should buy from reputable places such as state-licensed pharmacies. Taylor Swift's songs could soon leave TikTok. That's number 6. A bitter contract dispute is taking place between the video platform and the Universal Music Group. This week, the music label accused TikTok of acting like a bully in negotiations to pay for the use of its music. And it said it would not be renewing a contract to license its content. That means that TikTok could soon sound very different. Universal doesn't just represent Swift, they also represent Drake, Adele, Harry Styles, Billie Eilish, and Ariana Grande. All that music licensed by the label is set to be removed in the coming days. At number 7, a college student accidentally discovered a new species of dinosaur. Kyle Atkins Weltman was a master's student at the University of Kansas in 2020 when he was examining fossils for a school project. He thought he was looking at the bones of an Onzu wiley dinosaur. That dino is known as the chicken from hell because it's thought to have looked a bit like a human-sized chicken. But while he was inspecting the fossils, Atkins Weltman noticed some irregularities. So he sent the bones to an anatomy professor for further inspection. When he received the results a few months later, he said his heart skipped a beat. The bones weren't from the chicken from hell. They were from an unknown, smaller species. He called it Ioneophron infernalis, another nod to hell. Atkins Weltman, now a PhD student, revealed the discovery last week. The newly discovered dinosaur probably had long claws and legs, a toothless beak, feathers across its body, and a short tail. You can see a picture of what it looked like in our newsletter. Find a link to that in our show notes. That's the show for today. But before we go, a little reminder. If you're a Washington Post subscriber, your subscription comes with some new perks. You can get access to Washington Post podcasts ad-free in Apple Podcasts. And we'll have more fun stuff around the corner. So be sure to find the Washington Post channel in Apple Podcasts and connect your Post subscription. And then stay tuned for more subscriber-only audio benefits, like exclusive and early access episodes. If you're not a subscriber to the Washington Post yet, today is the day to become one. You can subscribe in Apple Podcasts by looking for the Washington Post channel or through the link in our show notes. I'm Hannah Jewell. I'll meet you back here tomorrow.